Okay, good morning to all of you. I, Atul Mahajan, welcome you all to the first lecture of Electronic Devices and Circuit subject of third semester. So today's presentation will deal you with the introduction of the subject. It will basically deal with what are the various application and what is the main objective of studying this subject. This is the main core objective of our subject, that why we need to study this subject, that we should know all of us. So first of all, we'll be dealing with the objectives of the subject. What is my objective? Why do I need to study this? What are various benefits of studying this subject? That is given in your first presentation or the first slide of your presentation. So after going through this unit, you should be able to understand the basic concepts of PN junction diode. Now, what is a PN junction diode? What are the basic concepts of PN junction diode? That you will be able to understand it very well when we be going through this unit, first unit. Basically, first unit of your curriculum deals with the basic concepts of PN junction diode. Subject is electronic device and circuit, and we're talking about the first unit, introduction to first unit, and this unit would deal with the basic concepts of PN junction diode. Then we'll be discussing about the term extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors. So the extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors are basically the two types of semiconductors which are most commonly used as your semiconductor devices in electronic components. Because as we all know that electronics is what? Electronics is a flow of electrons. Electronics is a branch of engineering which is deals with the flow of electrons. Whenever there is a flow of electrons, there is a generation of current. Whenever we make the electrons to move, whenever there is a bombardment of electrons, there is a generation of current. And now that current deals with actually the generation, or that deals with the electronic branch. Because whenever there is a flow of electrons, there is generation of current, and that current is being used for running up of any of the electronic device, or for the smooth functioning of any of the electronic device which we need electrons. And electrons, as we all know that electrons is not a stationary body. Electrons are not a stationary body, they are always in a motion. Electrons are always in a motion, and the bombardment of electrons actually deal with the generation of the current. Okay, so this is the one aspect of this chapter. We'll be dealing with the basic concepts of PN junction diode. PN junction diode is what? What is P and N? P and N stand for positive and negative terminal of the diode. We have two terminals. PN junction diode is basically how many terminals there are in PN junction diode? We have two junctions. One is a positive, one is your negative. So that is known as a PN junction diode, which is used for the flow of the current. And then we'll be studying about the extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors that I've already told you. Now, what is extrinsic and what is this intrinsic? Extrinsic semiconductors are those semiconductors which deal with the impurity present in the semiconductor device. Now, what is the semiconductor device basically? First of all, let us know first of all what is the semiconductor device and what is the basic utility. Why we are using only semiconductor device? Why not a conductor? Why not an insulator? Because conductors have the highest conductivity, like metals, all metals, gold, silver, copper, these all are the conductors. Conductors means they have the highest capability of conducting the current. There is the least amount of resistance in them, and the conductivity level of the conductors is very high. Huge amount of currents can flow through the conductors. And when we talk about the semiconductors are devices which have the conductivities that lie in between the conductor and the insulator. Now, what is the insulator? Insulator devices which are not able to conduct the current because they are insulating devices. They are the prohibiting devices. They are the hindering devices, like wood. Wood doesn't allow the flow of current. Plastic, that is also a insulator. It doesn't allow the flow of current. That is why sometimes when we, when we are barefooted and we are working on the wires, we are working with the naked wires, then it is always advisable to stand on a wood piece or on a plastic piece, because whenever there is entrance of current inside a body, it can't flow through the wood. Wood से निकल के आगे नहीं transfer हो सकता, because wood is an insulator. So insulators have zero conductivity, and they are the bad conductors. They are not good conductors. They are the bad conductors. They don't allow the flow of current to them. And when we talk about the semiconductors have the conductivity that lie in between the conductors and your insulators. That is, the conductivity is in medium value between the conductors and insulator. That means they have the value, semiconductors have the value that is less than the conductors, but that is more than your insulator. It is having a value that is less than conductors but more than your insulators. So we'll be talking about all of these concepts in this, first of all. Then we'll be talking about your classification of special purpose diodes. What do you mean by special purpose diodes? Special purpose diodes mean like Zener diode, LED, LCD. No, LEDs are light emitting diodes, liquid crystal diodes. These are the special purpose diodes. Now, why they are known as special purpose diodes? Because they are dealing with some special characteristics, like Zener diode. Zener diode has special characteristic that it works in the reverse bias. Normally, all the diodes work in the forward bias. Now, what is forward bias and what is reverse bias? Forward bias means when the positive terminal of the battery is connected with the P-type terminal of the material, and when the negative terminal of the battery is connected with the N-type region of the material. That is known as your PN diode, or that is known as a forward bias diode. And reverse bias means when the terminals are oppositely attached to the battery. Like for the PN junction diode, when the positive of the diode is connected with the negative terminal of the battery, and when the negative terminal of the diode is connected with the positive terminal of the battery. That is known as your reverse bias diode. And normally the low amount of current flows inside the reverse bias, and the highest or the huge amount of current flows inside your forward bias. So in case of your these uh, uh, special purpose diodes, they are working, especially Zener diode. Zener diode is working the reverse bias because it acts as a voltage stabilizer. So it is working in the reverse bias, and it is termed as your special purpose diode. Similarly, other diodes like LEDs and LCDs, these are also termed as special purpose diodes, or the photodiodes. These are also termed as special purpose diode because LEDs have the characteristics of light. Whenever the current flows through LED, there is a generation of light to them. इसमें से light जो है हमारे जो है वो ट्रांसफर होती है, that is known as your LEDs. इसके अलावा हमारे पास LCDs हैं जो कि that is the liquid crystal displays, which are able to display the current or display the amount of energy in the form of light with the help of the liquid crystals. These are also special purpose diodes. Then we have the basic operation of Zener diode and how this Zener diode works. What is the basic operation of Zener diode? How it works in the reverse bias region, that we'll be discussing in this Zener diode operation. Then we have the understanding the temperature dependence of the PN diode. Now, how this PN diode is actually dependent upon temperature, and with how this with the variation of temperature, how this PN diode actually varies with the amount of that voltage and current. So that we'll be discussing in the understanding the concepts of temperature dependence of PN diode. Then we'll be discussing about understanding the implementation of diode. We'll be discussing about the various implementation techniques of the diodes, how to implement the diodes in the system. So that we'll be discussing in the implementation of diode. Then after this, we'll be discussing about the introduction of basic conductors. Like we have the the basic electronics. We have the basic components which are used in electronics that we'll be discussing in this very unit. We'll be talking about the special purpose diodes, PN junction diodes, and the characteristics. We'll be discussing about the PN junction diode and the characteristics also in case of your first unit. We'll be talking about the VA characteristic, that is the voltage and current characteristics of the PN junction diode. We'll be talking about their characteristics of the PN junction diode, how with the variation of voltage, the amount of current is varying. We'll be discussing about this also in our first unit, and the characteristics also will be discussed in your first unit. Then we'll also be discussing about the transistor characteristics and biasing. We'll be talking about the various transistor characteristics, what are the various transistor characteristics, and how the biasing techniques are involved in case of your transistors like forward bias and reverse bias. We'll be discussing about all of these parameters in your first unit. Then we'll be also be discussing about the various configuration of transistors and their input and output characteristics. This is the second unit basically. Now we are talking about a second unit. The second unit deals with the transistor characteristics. What is a transistor? Transistor is a three-terminal device. It may be PNP or the NPN. PNP and NPN means positive, negative, and positive. We have three terminals: positive, negative, positive, and we have other two terminals like negative, positive, and negative. So इस तरह से we are having the three terminals for the PNP and NPN. So in this way it is working, and we'll be talking about the characteristics and the configurations of these diodes in your second unit of transistor classifications. So we'll be discussing about the various input and output configurations of the various transistors which are there, like the common base configuration, we have the common emitter configuration, we have the common collector configuration. So we'll be discussing about all of these three configurations of transistors and the input and output characteristics in case of your second unit. The second unit also deals with your stabilization conditions and operating points. We'll be discussing about your what are various stabilization conditions and what are the various operating points which are involved in your process. So that we'll be discussing in your second unit. So that will be discussed in your second unit. So वो हम सारा इसके अंदर second unit के अंदर हम लोग जो है अपना आराम से discuss कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. So that is the main dealing up of your second unit that we'll be talking about in your this unit. So the second unit class is you're dealing with your transistors. Basically, it is dealing with the transistor and the characteristics, the input and output characteristics. It is also dealing with the stabilization conditions and the operating point. What are the various stabilization conditions for transistors and operating points? It will be dealing with that also. Plus, it will be also be dealing with your construction and working of JFET, UJT, and MOSFET. Now, what is a JFET, UJT, and MOSFET? JFET is junction field effect transistors. JFET is defined as a junction field effect transistors, which is a kind of the transistors which are having the three terminals, that is a gate, drain, and source, and it is dealing mainly with these three terminals of the transistors, that is gate, drain, and source. So it is known as a junction field effect transistors. We'll also be dealing with the UJT, that is a unijunction transistors, and the MOSFET. MOSFET is a metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistors. So we'll be dealing with the junction field effect transistors, we'll be dealing with the unijunction transistors, and we'll also be dealing with the metal oxide field effect transistors. So these are the three main parameters by which we are dealing. Then the third unit, we'll come into third unit now of the syllabus. The third unit deals with the high frequency transistor models and the applications. This unit basically deals with the high frequency parameters of transistors because we are dealing with the AC circuits. Now, what do you mean by AC circuits? AC are the alternating current values which are having a different levels of frequencies. The level of current is going on changing. We have the alternating values of current in case of our AC current values, and with the variation of the current, there is a variation of frequency also. So in this unit, we'll be dealing with the various parameters of the AC currents. Okay, first of all, we're dealing with all the parameters of AC currents and their characteristics, the high frequency transistor models and the hybrid models basically. Hybrid models are those models which are basically dealing with your combination of two or three configurations. Like in a single model, we are using the hybrid combinations of voltage and current, or the impedance and admittance. So combination of one or two parameters or quantities together is known as your hybrid conditions, and the hybrid transistors are dealing with the hybrid values of the various transistors and their specified components. So that is your hybrid parameters. So in this unit, the third unit is dealing with your hybrid models of transistors and the study patterns which are involved in your hybrid models. We'll be talking about the various types of oscillators also. We'll be talking about the various types of oscillators. What are the oscillators and what are various types of oscillators we'll be discussing. This unit will also cover the feedback concept of amplifiers and oscillators. The third unit will also deal with the feedback concepts. What are various feedback concepts of the amplifiers and oscillators? We'll be discussing about these and the effect of negative and positive feedback. So we'll be discussing about the various concepts of negative and positive feedback in this case, and the concept of the amplifiers and the oscillators in your third unit. Now, what are the oscillators and what are the amplifiers basically? Amplifiers are those devices which are used to amplify the given signal. Amplifiers are the devices which are used for the amplification of the signals. Application of the given signals, and oscillators are the devices which are used to form the sustained oscillations. By use of the oscillators, we are having the sustained amount of oscillations are being produced in case of your oscillators. Okay, so that is the definition of your oscillators. Then we'll be talking about the last unit. The last unit deals with the large signal amplifiers. What are the large signal amplifiers and what is the basic ability of large signal amplifiers? We'll be discussing about the large signal amplifiers in your last unit. That is, the large signal amplifiers means they are dealing with the high voltages and high power. When we talk about the high power and high voltage, we talk about the large signal amplifiers. The amplification of these signals is done in a high quantified ways. Like we have the amplifiers for the large signals like class A amplifiers, class B, class AB, push-pull amplifiers. So we'll be discussing about all of these large signal amplifiers in case of your last unit. This unit will also deal with the various type of amplifiers like class A and class B. These are name of the large signal amplifiers, class A, class B. We'll discuss in detail when we talk about these topics in the syllabus. This unit will also deal with the concept of harmonic distortion. Harmonic distortion is also discussed in case of your last unit. The last unit will also deal with the graphical representation of various output load with power. What are the various parameters which are changing with respect to the load and power, output load and the power? That will also be discussing in your last unit. The graphical representations will be discussed. The last unit will also deal with the push-pull amplifiers and its type. What are various push-pull amplifiers and the types we'll be discussing in your last unit. This unit will also deal with the concept of crossover distortion. What do you mean by crossover distortion? That will also be discussed in your last unit. This unit will also deal with the basic concepts of clipping and clamping. Clipping and clamping means whenever when we need to clip any circuit, when we need to clip any part of any circuit, then it is known as clipping. And clamping means when we need to attach any part of the circuit with the other circuit or the wave shape. That is known as clamping. So this is a various core topics which are going to be discussed in your coming lectures. Unit-wise bifurcation of the topics. Then we have the basic terminologies which we'll be using in our this presentations. Okay, so we'll be talking about these also now. We'll be talking about basic terminologies of these curriculum, that what is the basic terminology which we're going to use in our subject. So first of all, we're going to use the extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors. We'll be talking about the extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors. Now, what do you mean by extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors? Extrinsic semiconductors are the impure kind of the semiconductors which have impurities in them. And intrinsic semiconductors are those semiconductors which are not having any impurity in them. It is the purest form of semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductors are the purest form of semiconductors, and extrinsic semiconductors are the impure form of semiconductors. So we'll be dealing with both of these kind of semiconductors in our EDC subject. Then we have the PN junction diode. Now, what do you mean the PN junction diode? A PN junction diode is a two-terminal, two-electrode semiconductor device which allows the electric current to flow in only one direction, while blocks the electric current in the opposite or the reverse direction. PN junction diode is a two-terminal device. First of all, it has a positive and a negative end. Okay, and it allows electric current to flow in only one direction. It is not a bidirectional motion. It has a unidirectional motion of the flow of the electric current. The PN junction is which is formed when the P-type and N-type semiconductors are joined. P-type and N-type semiconductors are the semiconductors of the extrinsic type. When these two type of semiconductors are combined with each other, they form the PN junction diode. Okay, so a tunnel diode, next is a tunnel diode terminology. Tunnel diode can be used as a switch, as an amplifier, or as an oscillator. It can be used as an amplifier, switch, or an oscillator. Since it shows a fast response, it is used as a high frequency component. The tunnel diode acts as a logic memory storage device. They are used in oscillator circuits and in FM receivers. So they have the negative resistance component, and they can be used in your switches, amplifiers, receivers. These are various applications where they can be easily employed and where they are actually used. Then we have the transistors. Transistor is a semiconductor device which is used to amplify or switch the electronic signals and electrical power. It is composed of semiconductor materials, usually with at least 3 terminals like for connection to an external circuit. Okay, so transistor is a 3-terminal device which is used as a switching as well as for the amplification purposes. Now, what do you mean by an amplifier? Amplifier is a electronic device which is used for increasing the amplitude of electrical signals, which is used chiefly in the sound reproduction. First of all, a device consisting of an amplifier combined with a loudspeaker is used to increase the volume of sound produced by electric guitars and other musical instruments. So basically, they're using the increase or enhancing the level of amplitude of electrical signals. By amplification, we are enhancing the value of the signal. Whatever the level of signal is, we're just enhancing its level by using the amplifiers, and this is the basic operation of amplifier. The amplifiers are basically meant for this purpose. Then we have the oscillators. What do you mean by oscillator? An oscillator is a device which is used for generating the oscillatory electrical circuits, currents, or voltages by non-mechanical means. A device which is used for generating the oscillatory electrical currents or voltages by non-mechanical means. Non-mechanical means that we are not using any mechanical means over here. We are just making to generate the oscillations or the waves. Sustained oscillations means whenever we give any frequency, whenever I'm talking, like I'm talking right now, talking means that I am generating certain kind of frequencies. A certain kind of frequencies are being generated when I'm talking. What is the audible range? It is 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Now that is my audible range. Whenever I'm talking, that means I'm generating a kind of frequencies which are in the audible range. And this audible range is actually enhancing the system to operate in that range, and we are working with that range for our system. Okay, so this is all about your terminologies and what are the basic operations which are being used in the oscillators, and feedback systems which are using in case of oscillators. Thank you so much for your patient listening. If you have any doubts, you can ask me any moment of time. I have written my email ID at the below of the footer of the presentation. You have any doubts, you have any queries, you can drop your doubts in my email ID. Thank you so much.